Hey, Our City Church. If we haven't had the privilege of meeting yet, my name is Jesse and I'm part of the pastoral staff for Our City. And I want to thank you so much for engaging in this very first experience of life groups together. I want to take just a couple minutes and share with you the vision behind what life groups are within our city, because many of us walk in with different expectations and understandings and past experiences of what groups were to us. And I want to help you with that because we really believe that life groups can be an incredible thing, but they're not specifically a Bible study. There's not going to be, a weekly discussion going deep into verse by verse study of the Bible. That will happen, but it's not all about that. Life groups are not a social club where we're just going to get together and have drinks and snacks and hang out with each other. That's going to happen, but it's not all about that. And life groups are not a support group either, where we're going to cry together every week and go through all the boxes of tissues together. That's going to happen on occasion, but it's not all about that. Each of these components are actually a healthy piece of what forms a genuine life group. It's not any one of those individual things, it's all of those things combined together for an incredible experience. Regardless of our background of where we come into this room today, many of us have heard of King Solomon and the incredible wisdom that he carried. And he wrote something really powerful that I think will help us focus on what life groups are meant to be. Solomon writes about community in the book of Ecclesiastes. In chapter 4, verses 9 and 10, he says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up." And with that in mind, I want to share with you about my experience in life groups. I've been in all kinds of life groups over the years, and honestly, most of them were really forgettable, but there's one specifically that stands out above the rest. And it was a men's specific group where we didn't have much in common other than the fact that we were men. Some were married, some were divorced, some were single, some had kids, some didn't. And we met at the most random of places, at Graziano's Pizza. And we would drink soda and eat pizza and talk about our lives and go through the content. But this life group was deeply impactful. At Our City Church, we would say that the win of life groups is that you would connect relationally and that you would grow spiritually. And for me and my men's group at Graziano's Pizza, that is exactly what happened. And here's what happens when you press through the awkwardness of just getting to know each other and you really begin to engage in each other's lives. You'll be on the short list to get called and invited for people's birthday parties, and you'll be on the list to get a phone call when somebody loses their job or experiences a tragedy. And you'll be on the call list when they want to celebrate with you of the job promotion or the marriage or of the engagement. And that is really what we believe healthy community looks like. As you engage in a circle, you will begin to connect relationally, and that's going to supercharge your ability to grow spiritually. There's 4 keys that I want to discuss with you today that I think if you'll each begin to apply as you gather in life group, you're going to have an unforgettable experience. Number 1, we want you to be present. What that means is we actually want you to show up consistently at life group. Make sure that you mark it in your calendar, that you set a reminder, that you block out that time each week so that you can be here and you can begin to engage with the other people that are in this community with you. You have something incredible to contribute to this group of people, and so does everybody else. But if you're missing and if they're missing, they're gonna miss out on what you have to offer. But when you're present, when you show up, people are going to be able to have their lives deeply impacted, and so will you. Second, we want you to create a safe place. And one of the ways that we say that is kind of the Las Vegas rule. Whatever happens in life group stays in life group. Over the next many weeks, you're going to build trust and you're going to begin to share with each other the different challenges and struggles that you're going through. And you have 2 responsibilities with that. One, you need to keep that within the group and respect the sanctity of the group and don't share those things outside of it. But number 2, we need you to make sure that each member of this life group has the opportunity to share what's happening in their life, and that you aren't dominating the conversation with everything happening in yours. And when we work together and we practice those tools, we'll create a safe place for each of us to begin to engage. Third, we each need to commit to making it personal. What that looks like is as you show up, you are showing up with your personal self. And it's really easy when you get into a new life group to keep things surface, to just talk about the weather, talk about the news, talk about sports. But if each of us will show up and we'll make it personal and share about the things that we are genuinely trying to grow in our lives, the successes we're experiencing and the struggles that we're living through, it's going to be such a life-giving experience for everybody because we're going to make it personal by being real and by sharing the genuine things that are going on in our lives. And number 4, we want you to move out. We want you to move out of your comfort zone, of the same thing that you've always done, of your regular old Christianity, of your regular old experience, and we want you to grow. We want you to progress. We want you to move forward. Because as we've said, the win of life groups is that you would connect relationally and grow spiritually. And when you're doing those two components, we really believe that there's going to be some incredible next steps that are appropriate for you to take. Maybe that looks like moving out by literally getting out of this life group next season and leading your own life group. Maybe it's best for you to stay in this life group, but maybe you need to take a next step of getting baptized or of joining a serve team. There's so many next steps that can come up as you're connecting relationally and growing spiritually. We don't want you to forget to move out. This life group experience is going to be incredible for each of you. It'll be deeply impactful as you begin each week to show up and put those 4 keys into practice. We really believe that our win for life groups, that you would connect relationally and grow spiritually, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen sooner than you think. And at that point, you'll begin to experience why we think that circles are better than rows.